Konnichiwa, hello, and welcome. This is Roy, and it's Zilla90, and today I will be reviewing the NECA NES Godzilla 1984/85 figure from the NES classic Godzilla Monster of Monsters that I just so happen to have an original NES cartridge copy of in my NES collection. So, with that said, let's get this figure review started. And now, starting things off with the box, because thankfully I still have all the boxes for all my NECA figures that came in boxes. As you can see, front and center, the picture on the box is the same exact picture that is on the front cover label of the original Godzilla Monster of Monsters NES cartridge. Now, of course, the big difference here is the NES cartridge says official Nintendo seal of quality right there, and the NECA figure on the NECA box says official NECA seal of quality. So, yeah. Letting you know, this is two different products. That this product is just based on this product. So it's made by two different companies. Produced by two different companies, or licensed by two different companies. Anyway, but anyway, on the background of the box, you can see the UFOs flying in the back. You can see the lightning striking. You can see him firing off his heat ray, which is a yellow colorization. I have never seen Godzilla fire off a yellow heat ray before, but I don't know. I guess that's just what they went with here. And of course, I can clearly tell this is the picture of the 1954 Godzilla, not exactly the 85 or 84, however you want to put it. Judging based off of you're going with the Japanese release or the American theatrical release of Return of Godzilla. But anyway, that's not the subject here. Getting back to the box, we can see the TOHO.co logo at the top right corner of the box. We have ages 14 and up, so that obviously this is for older collectors. And we have the title of the game that this figure is from, Godzilla Monster of Monsters, written very bright and vibrant, with some neon green fonts and sort of darker green outlining there. And we have Monster of Monsters written in the darker green colorization. We have a warning label at the bottom saying choking hazard. So yeah, don't try to eat this because it's not going to go over so well, because this is not candy. And the inside of the box, we can see the overworld map of the game for when you're moving your character from different points on the board before you enter the stages. And on the inside of the box, of course, the figure is taken out, but this is the backdrop from the first level in the game, and you can see on the top it says Godzilla, and you can see like the points, and like it says level 1, and you can see the power and the life bar right there. Very reminiscent to what you would see on the game. The side of the box, it just says NECA and Godzilla, and it says NECA 65th anniversary from 1954 to 2019. So obviously this is, I would say, 5 years out of date by now. So yeah, this is an outdated figure, but it's not expired. The top of the box, it just says Godzilla. The other side of the box, it pretty much says the same thing. The back of the box is, here's where things get interesting. We have TOHO.co at the top. We have the title of the game that this figure is from. It says The Great Movie Monster Action Figure. And we have the all the pictures of all the different features you get with this figure. You get a hinged jaw, you get articulated tail, and basically shows you his NES character sprite. And here's a picture of the figure and the dialogue about the figure. You can pause it and read that if you want to. So I'll leave that there for a few seconds. And now moving right along down to the bottom left corner of the box, we have the Godzilla Kaiju logo and we have the TOHO logo. And of course right here is an uninteresting barcode, and the bottom of the box, it's just plain black. So that pretty much concludes it for the box. Now let's get on to the figure. And now here we have the NECA NES Godzilla 1984/85 figure right here before us in all of his 8-bit pixelated NES Nintendo Entertainment System classic glory. As you can see, this is a really cool, awesome looking figure, and I am very glad and honored to have this figure in my collection. Now, of course, yeah, mine does have a sort of, if I can find it, right here, a paint chipping, but yeah, that's no big deal. I'm not griping over that, because I still think this is a really good figure nonetheless, and I am super excited to be reviewing him for you guys today. So with that said, let's get started going over detail and articulation. Starting with the colorization of this figure. As you can see, this figure is sort of, I would say, sort of a blue colorization, sort of this bluish turquoise color, sort of. Well, kind of like a darker turquoise blue with some lighter blue pixelated spots all over his body in various areas, and we do have some darker blue shading going throughout the inner thighs and the inner arms of this figure, as well as the bottom of the feet. The hand claws and the toe claws are of a very bright white colorization. Not exactly a bone white colorization, but it is a bright white colorization, being more reminiscent to his appearance in the NES games. So basically, this is based on 8-bit pixelated colors, not realistic appearances. So yeah, they're not going for movie accuracy here. So that's why. As far as the eyes, we get these really cool, fearsome looking blood red eyes right here. I know that kind of sort of makes him look evil, but this Godzilla's not necessarily evil in the game. He's sort of a protector of the Earth. You're basically fighting King Ghidorah at the end of the game, but yeah. I know, judging by the sculpt and the color of the eyes and everything, it kind of sort of makes him look evil, but he's not. And the jaw is on a hinge. It does open. We do have jaw articulation, as mentioned on the box. We can see the inside of his mouth. We can see the top of his gums looking very realistic. That's where they're getting more realistic. And the tongue is also a red colorization, and we can see the inner linings of the tongue. We can see that same bright white colorization on the teeth. And he does have some black, I would say, outlining on his body as well. You can see that on the face, on the middle of the lip, and the side of the face, bringing him out really well, making him look really good. And we could see his small little bitty Godzilla ears there. As far as the dorsal spines, the middle dorsal spines on this one is a lot bigger than the normal NECA Godzilla 1985, which I also have, but I had this one first, so yeah, getting a look at that. A lot of people say that the accurate character sprite for Godzilla in the NES Classic Godzilla Monster of Monsters is actually the 1964. But some people say it's the 85 because that was the current suit design at the time. And then some people say it's the 1954 because that's the Godzilla you see on the cover. Well, the actual character sprite, I would say, I think NECA got it right. Because if I put them, because I put this one close to the character sprite that appears on the game, it looks spot on and nearly identical. Now, I could be wrong, but I still do believe that NECA got it right. And as far as the side dorsal spines, so to speak, it's pretty much the same dorsal spines you get on the NECA Godzilla 1985. They're just a different colorization. The only dorsal spines that is different on this one is the middle dorsal spines. Now, the side dorsal spines might be a little bit smaller if you have the original release of these figures. If you have the reissues like I do, there was some retooling in the sculpt of the dorsal spines involved, as well as the hand articulation. And I will soon be getting into that, because I will be getting into articulation now. Starting with the shoulders. The shoulders are on ball joints, so you can move them up about this much. You can move them back down about that much. Now, the shoulder joints are pretty stiff, so do be careful. I can rotate them all the way around a full 360 like so. Like that. The neck is on a ball joint. I can rotate the neck a full 360 all the way around, and I can also rotate the head independently from the neck, although it's kind of stiff. And I can look up about that far. He can look down about that much. He can look right about that much and left about that much. Well, he can turn a full 360, so that shouldn't be a problem. And the elbows are on a swivel hinge, so we can swivel those elbows a full 360 like so. And we can bend them forward and back like so, although they do feel kind of stiff. And we do have a swivel hinge at the wrist, so we can turn those wrists all the way around, and yeah, we can rock them back and forth on this like clawing action motion on the wrist. So we do have a really good swivel hinge there, so really good improvement from the original releases. So yeah, I don't have any of the original releases, but I mean, I got these, so I don't really need them. And the waist is on a ball joint, so we can swivel that waist all the way around a full 360. But we can't really do an ab crunch all that much because it's just a swivel joint. It's not necessarily a ball joint, so yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But it's not a deal breaker when it comes to this figure. I mean, this is what NECA was the only thing I had access to before I was able to afford SH Monster Arts. But yeah, I do have to buy SH Monster Arts figures sparingly for this channel. It means I won't be buying as many new ones for review as frequently or all at the same time as I originally was. But anyway, getting into leg articulation, the hips are on ball joints and the legs look really nice, really well sculpted. The hips can rotate about that much before they are hindered by the sculpt, so you can't really go a full 360, so you have to turn them back inwards like that. We can't split out at all with this one, because if we try to, we're going to snap that barbell style ball joint in the hips, and we really don't want to do that because NECA Godzilla figures right now are going to be really hard to replace. And if I gotta replace this one by buying one on the aftermarket, it's gonna cost me just as much, or if not more, than an SH Monster Arts figure. So yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. But anyway, getting more in depth with more articulation, we have good articulation in the, well, not exactly good articulation because it's really stiff. We got articulation in the knees. The knees are on ball joint. Are on hinges. They can bend, but mine seem to be stuck right now. Well, at least you can see that one moving, but this one, yeah, for some reason just isn't budging right now. So I'm not even gonna bother with that. But other than that, getting right down to the feet. The feet are on swivel hinges, so you can swivel them all the way around and point them down if you so-called choose to. So you can do that. And moving right on down to the tail, getting to the tail portion of this figure. This figure has his tail is comprised of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 articulation segments, and the tip of the tail is a bendy wire, so you can move the tail about that much this way. You can move it about that far that way. You can move it up a little bit and down a little bit, but I'm not going to bend the bendy wire tip because it's very small and I don't want to break the bendy wire inside, and I don't want to rip it because, like I said, these figures are hard to replace by this point. But other than that, this is a figure I do highly enjoy and I do appreciate a lot. So with that said, I will be getting into my final verdict and giving you my final thoughts and opinions and my final score on this figure. So let's get to it. And now for my final verdict, which means my final thoughts and opinions on the NECA NES Godzilla 1984/85 figure from the NES classic video game, Godzilla Monster of Monsters. If I have to give this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I would have to give this figure, and drum roll please, a well-deserved 4.5 stars. Because why? I think this figure is very highly detailed for what it is. It has good articulation. Playability is fairly decent with this one. Although I do have to take points off because, yeah, as you've witnessed, this figure has some really stiff joints and some stiff articulation. So, yeah, this is not a figure I would recommend for everybody to pick up. And technically, if you are looking to pick up NECA Godzilla figures, now would definitely not be the time since they no longer have the legal license. If NECA ever does get the Godzilla license back, yeah, maybe. But right now, I would just, if you wanted cheaper, more high quality, more articulated, more detailed Godzilla figures right now, go with Hiya Toys. Definitely go with Hiya Toys because you're not going to regret it at all. Because basically, what you're going to be paying for these figures on the aftermarket, for aftermarket prices, you just as well get a Hiya Toys Godzilla figure or an SH Monster Arts Godzilla figure anyway. Because you will be better off, plus you'll be getting more for your money. These figures are nothing more than just maybe like $20, $25 budget figures, and you're going to be paying a significant markup because they're no longer available. So, with that said, like I said, definitely look into Hiya Toys figures instead. But like I said, I still do appreciate this one, and if you also are a collector who has this one in your collection, he is a good figure, and I am glad I got him. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much concludes it for this review. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and you are all looking forward to me getting content back on this channel. And yeah, this was my first NECA figure review since my mass deletion. That will never happen again. But anyway, if you made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you guys all so much for watching. You are very much appreciated. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay safe, take care. God bless, and peace out.